How's everybody doing today? This is the Fat Ball Guy, and I wanted to go over one of my theories on how to have a nice little hit for yourself with a small budget. It's called the single spread theory of the pick three, and it's very self-explanatory. You need to have a single. You need to find a single. I'm not really worried about the price, although the higher the price, obviously the better the payout can be. But what you want to do when you're looking at a 10 race card, say at Aqueduct or Churchill or Keeneland or any of the other ones on the West Coast, you want to find a horse that you can single, that you are very confident that if you bet on this horse, you're going to win 40 to 50% of the time on this particular horse. Well, if you clearly have say $100 budget for the day, and that's your budget is $100 or $200 or whatever it is. If you took the $100 and bet on that horse, say he's 3-1, you bet $100, you're going to get back $400. Well, what we're trying to do is maximize the profit, since you're only going to be right. A really good horse player is going to be right 40%. At most major tracks that are a lot tougher than that, the Del Mars, the Keenelands, the Saratogas, it's hard to be right 40% of the time. You're more than likely going to be right 30% of the time. So what we'd like to do is try to maximize our profit on that 30%. So the way I look at this is, we got a 3-1 shot. We're very confident this horse is going to win. So what we do is we look at the 2 races surrounding that horse, and we want to pick the most difficult races, not the easiest races. We want to pick the most difficult races. And the reason that is the chances of the price of the pick 3 paying higher go way up. So the first thing we want to do, say it's a 7-horse field into a 10-horse field. Okay, well, the first thing we want to do is bet a 50 cent if we can. We want to bet a 50 cent all into our horse. Okay, so that's $35. Now what we want to do, because then if something crazy does happen, you catch a 70-1 into a 60-1, you're not pissing and moaning that you lost and you blew the $100 and your horse won. I mean, that's the way we want to play that. So just the lowest bet you can possibly make, you take all into your horse before you do anything else. Then what we want to do is we want to look at those 2 races and try to take any horse that you think has a chance. Okay, so that's different. That's a lot different than having a single. You want to look at the race and say, who can win? Who's the speed of the race? Who's the closer if the race falls apart? Who's the best connections? Who's the hot rider? Who's got the best post position? You may not like the horse. You may think, well, this speed can never go all the way. But if he's 7 or 8-1, and we're taking 4 or 5 horses in that race, you want to make sure you have him, because that's the horse you may be rooting for. You don't want to just take the favorites, because you don't want a $30 pick 3. You're trying to, the goal for me, if I'm going to spend $100, my normal bet is $200, but if I'm going to spend $100, I want to have 10-1. So I'm trying to turn this 3-1 into a 10-1. That's what I'm trying to do. So if I go ahead and I take a 4-1 and a 6-1 and a 10-1 and a 12-1, and yeah, you'll take the favorite too. You want to have your bet, you want to spend, okay, you want to have, say, 4 times 5 or 3 times 6 or whatever, but you want that ticket for $1 to be somewhere in the 18 to 26, 27, 30 if you absolutely have to, for $1, okay? Because say we've already spent 7 times 10, we've already spent $35. So on the next ticket for $1, so we got it 3 times in, the 50 cent, another 50, another 50. So for $1, we want to take, say, let's just use, for example, we want to take 5 times 4. That's $20. So now we're up to $55, right? We got the 35 and we got the 20. So now what we want to do is zero in even more in one of the races. So we got 5 times 4. So now we want to take the 2 best horses we like and then spread even deeper. So now we got 1 times 2 times, say, 7. It's 7 times 10. So now we have all again in the other race, right? We got 2, 7. And then we want to flip-flop that. The 2 best horses into 6 or 7 again. So now you're spending another $1. So it's 14 That's 14, say $28. So now we're 28, 20, 35. But we're getting it multiple times with the horses we like, right? So we want to try to get on a $100 budget to where you can get, if you're two horses and your single win, you'll have at least a $5 or $6 one. So say that 3-to-1 shot wins, and one of your two horses is 3 or 4-to-1, and one of your other two horses is, say, 5-to-1. Well, think about that. That pick three is going to pay somewhere around $100 to $120 for a dollar. So if you've got it 5 or 6 times, then you got $600 or $700 coming for your 100 instead of $300 or $400. And then if you can catch a 6 or 7 or 8-to-1, that pick three now becomes $300 or $400 or $500. And I've seen many times at Saratoga and Keeneland and Del Mar's of the world where the pick threes, even with a 3-to-1 shot, pay $1,500 for a dollar. Well, now you've maximized your profit. That's the single spread theory. If you only got a $100 budget, that's what you want to do. You don't want to run around betting 10 to win on 10 different horses unless you really want to be conservative. You want to zero in on that horse or two you like for the day. You want to spend, if you only got a $100 budget, you want to spend that $100 and pick threes surrounding that horse. And then if that horse wins, you want to make sure you haven't missed it. And that's the way you maximize profit on a 2 or 3-to-1 shot instead of just betting straight.